You know, Big Stone Lake has always been kind of renowned as a walleye fishery over the years, but you know, the past decade or so, last handful of years anyways, a perch population of this lake has just exploded. And so it's really gotten to become a phenomenal fishery for anglers that love to target panfish. That right there's a big stone bluegill. Wow. We're on Big Stone Lake here today, and Big Stone Lake is a border water on the border of South Dakota and Minnesota. Just a long, narrow lake and pretty good walleye fishery. There's some pretty nice largemouth bass in here, some really big bluegills, and huge numbers of perch. And last few years, this lake has gotten to be a pretty popular destination for perch anglers. And I always joke on my deathbed, I just want one last meal of perch. Just a great eating fish, and pretty good numbers out here. And so fall day, you know, pretty much from midsummer on to fall, you know, typically open water, that's when you see some of the best perch fishing of the entire season. And anglers are out here enjoying this. I was surprised, you know, middle of October here, and there's quite a few boats out on the water already.
You know it's fall. You know, it seems like this lake has gotten weedier over the past few years, and that must be what's creating a better habitat for the perch and more reproduction on the perch. The north half of this lake in the summer gets very weedy. So obviously the perch are doing well over here, but perch in the fall, everybody wants those.
You know, we just scooted around until we marked some clutter on the bottom. And it's basically just a big flat out here. Got a fish on over there. There we go, Doug.
Oh, that's a nice bluegill there.
Oh, yeah.
Another bluegill.
Nice sunfish.
Yeah.
Nice bluegills. There's nice sunfish mixed right in with these perch, and kind of a panfish paradise. Pretty neat. You know, we've been coming down to this glacial lakes region of northeastern South Dakota for so many years now. And, you know, what often goes understated is that for so many anglers, you know, they fish for different reasons, and you know, a meal of fresh fish, that's about as good of a reason as any to fish. You know, right now there's a lot of lakes clicking right now where you can go out and catch fish to eat, and I think that's what makes, you know, perch fishing so popular. You know, it's amazing. You know, you'll see 30 boats in an area, you know, they're all targeting 10 to 13 inch fish, and they're excited to do that. And you know, when you get wrapped up at the end of the day, a perch is about the best eating fish that you're going to find, and that's why, you know, you see such high participation. You know, where there's a good perch bite, you know there's going to be a crowd of people, because people love to eat perch.
One feels like it's got some weight to it. That's a little bit better perch. You know, we're getting crappie, we're getting bluegill, we're getting perch, a little bit of everything on this fishery right now. Seems like the slip bobber has been the most effective. There we go. There you go, I think we'll keep this one.
We've made a few small moves here. We've been just basically anchoring wherever we see fish on the screen, and you know, typically, you know, you catch a few fish, get a few boats around you, and kind of dies off. And we've been just making small moves here. We just moved maybe a couple 100 yards or so and marked fish again here, and caught a perch as soon as we dropped down here. So we'll just keep scooting around here and see what happens.
Okay, we got some weight on this fish. I think we got a decent perch here finally. Got a dandy here. That's a nice perch in this area. Looks like one of the better perch we've caught in today here. Nice fish of this area.
Perfect eating fish right there.
Yeah,
that's why people come.
Yeah, I think they'd all love to have a few of these today.
Turning out to be a beautiful fall day, you know what? Probably don't have a lot of these left. We're just setting these slip bobbers about 8 inches to a foot off the bottom. We're fishing pretty close to the bottom, and these fish that are running these flats, they're eating all kinds of bugs and invertebrates that are out in the mud. And the other thing that you're going to notice about fishing on these flats, these fish move a lot. I mean, they are just on the go, and so it's just a matter of just getting in a zone where you just have a lot of traffic, and you run out of traffic, it's time to make a move. And these fish are scooting through here. Oh, there you got a nice one, Doug.
Back to baiting again. In our area, we're blessed to have so many different fisheries. We got some great bluegill fisheries. We have some very good walleye fisheries, of course. And then hopefully late fall and into the winter, we got some good perch fisheries. You'll see different years where the perch will start biting in midsummer, early fall. But so far this year, it seems like this is the lake that's going this time of year.
Yeah, you get down in this country, and there's just so many different options. There's just so many different lakes. So many different species. That's what I love about this area. Depending on the lake, you can target perch all summer long, from spring to fall, right up till ice up. But as a general rule of thumb, you're gonna see some of your best fishing, it seems like, from midsummer on, in the sense that the later on the season you get, the later on the open water season that you get, these perches seem to school up more. The schools get bigger, they get more concentrated. And I personally believe that has something to do with the forage base as well, in the sense that you get early in the year, spring of the year, you have all kinds of young of the year minnow hatches that are happening. Sometimes you get a bump in water level where you get all those invertebrates that are added to that ecosystem. And it almost seems like that forage base gets cropped down a little bit during the summer. And as the summer progresses and you start getting into fall, it almost seems like those fish have to work a little bit harder for a meal and they become more aggressive. And so there's a couple things that are happening. You get these perch that school up into bigger schools. There's just less for them to eat as the summer progresses, and typically that's when you see some of your best open water perch fishing of the year. Basically after the 4th of July on, and as you get later on into the fall, it just seems to get better and better.
Some perch. There we go. Nice fish there. We've seen that several times I've been out. I know where it gets dead calm and the perch bite can just go quiet. Then you get that little wind come back up, more of a ripple. I think it must change the sunlight penetration down below. And it seems like when you change that, they get more active again. So right now we got a nice little ripple here.
What we're doing here, we're just using 6-pound monofilament, just using a little flutter spoon. That's just basically something you'd find in your ice fishing tackle box. That's just a Clam Pro Tackle guppy flutter spoon. They get a little bit of ripple in the water, and that slip bobber will rock a little bit and just gives a little bit of flutter. And these perch and bluegills, they just love these small spoons. Oh yeah, look at this. This is a good fish here, Doug. Look at this bluegill.
Oh, that's a dandy there. Fishing over 10 inches there.
Look at that.
Wow.
That right there is a big stone bluegill.
Oh,
wow.
Now if we get a bunch of those today.
Wow, that's impressive right there.
Oh, that's what we came for.
That's just a great fish. Fish has got some girth, just tall. Look at that.
I think a lot of people would put that fish on the wall if they could.
Yep, that is respectable. Tell you what, I'm gonna let that fish go. I like releasing those bigger bluegills like that. You know, what amazes me about this part of the world is that, you know, every time I come down here, you know, I can fish a different lake and never fish the same body of water twice. So there's so much to learn, there's so much water to explore. You know, the possibilities are endless. You can go out on a body of water and spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours looking for fish. If you don't find nothing, you just trailer down the road, and you know, 5-10 miles down the road there's another lake. And so you can just explore, and you know, that's what I love about this part of the world, is that you know, you never run out of places to fish.